Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Omega Files, where we've gotten to finally sit down and watch the finale for Series 10, The Doctor Falls. Yes, there's Cybermans. Yes, there's two Masters. And yes, wow, there's Bill, Cyber Bill. Wow, it almost sounds like, Cyborg Steve. Does that sound familiar, anyone? Okay, let's go into what you guys wanted to say about. Once again, we got so many people here. When I call your name, just go ahead and immediately go into your opening thoughts on The Doctor Falls. And just to flip around with the order, we're going to start and go bottom to top. Let's start with Beefhead.
Hello, everybody. Beef here from Earth C-137. And yes, welcome to the Doctor Who finale 2017. Yeah, where for the past few years, everyone has wanted to see Stephen Moffat nailed to a cross. Well, now everybody loves him. As Graham very eloquently put it earlier on today, yeah, you have the death of characters or characters potentially going to die, and everyone was afraid that there's going to be the trope of he brings them back to life, and he would be condemned if he had done as such. But this time you actually wanted him to do it because you gave a crap about these characters. It was elegant. It was beautiful. It was everything that I hoped it would be. It was something deserving of the lead actors you got. It was poignant, humorous, self-referential to everything that had gone in the past. I think you had everything that you wanted in it. They're really, if there was a duff bit, you're really pushing it to find a duff bit, and you're going to nitpick. Sadly, because of circumstances, I've only been able to have one watch of it tonight. But a lot of it was taken up by me going, "What? No." And words that I really can't repeat here this evening, but it was a lot of WTF moments, I believe the internet like to call it. It's tremendous. I mean, we'll get into it, but opening thoughts, it's just blown me away. It's far exceeded my expectations. I thought last week was going to be hard to follow up. It's definitely done it. It's done it in spades. This is by far means, I think, the strongest finale of any season since the show's come back. To be honest with you, by far for me, this is this guy is going to be missed so incredibly. It really is the top nuts that I can ever give to this, and you're not going to see this like again. Not for a very, very, very long time. Not only is he blown for me or the new Who Doctors out of the water, there's a few of the classics he's far surpassed with this. It really has been a massive, massive boner for me as a Doctor Who fan.
Okay, Texas Tim.
Well, yeah, I can ditto all of that because I agree with Beefhead 100%. What struck me was how they left all the good bits for the last 10 minutes. I mean, it was like I kept on looking at the clock saying, how are we going to get out of this? Because, I mean, I knew they had to get rid of everybody, basically, and have something to do. I didn't know that that Bradley was going to show up in this episode, so I assumed that was for Christmas. But that was a nice bonus at the end, too. Like Beef just said, when you get to the final 10, 15 minutes, it was a whole WTF marathon, and it was great. I mean, I thought that the switcheroo on the exit of Bill was brilliant. I think because I didn't see that coming. I think if anything, they left open Nardal's fate, didn't they? Because I'm pretty sure he's not going to be one stuck on that thing for the rest of his life, and it looks like the Doctor's probably going to forget he's there. And I don't know if he's going to be in Christmas or not either, but that's like one thing they left open. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great episode, and it really, like Tim also said, it was a tough act to follow last week, and this really just improved and expanded on it. It was really an excellent two-parter. I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay, Doctor Who commentator.
Well, where can I follow on from any of that? This was an absolutely brilliant episode with drama and action. You have, like I say, you have Cyberman, you have the two masters, and that interaction between Sim and Michelle Gomez, absolutely brilliant. And of course, you've had the sort of what ending of the master, so to speak. You have both of them pretty much turning on each other. You got Missy, who, frankly, I think Missy has actually died, because you can't have her have a complete change in personality and realistically keep her going. But that said, there was little bits in there to suggest that maybe there are some masters in between Sim and Missy. And like I said, great with everything, with Bill having to somewhat come to terms with the fact that she's a Cyberman. But to disagree with Beef a bit, only Moffat could ruin it by once again having the companions somewhat, I think, come back to life. I really just could not understand what was going on with that he ends. Something about, I knew it was Heather, something about tears, whatever, but yeah, it's just another one where I think, oh god, you killed off the companion, just let them stay dead. That's great drama, and it's like Moffat's never wants to go through
She's
with that.
dead.
Yeah, but although to sum it off, I kind of like the bit where the Doctor was sort of unconscious, and then he comes alive a bit again. Anyone else remember they did a little bit where they have his companions saying Doctor and Ben his enemies. That is actually a slight nod to, I think, a nod to Tom Baker's Regeneration, which is even highlighted somewhere at the beginning where where they're talking about how many times have you died. I know you've fallen. That's how I'll end it there.
And jelly babies. Okay, Frank.
Oh, you caught me off guard. Right, yeah. Hi everyone. Yeah, I really this episode was thrilling. I've been following this season all the way through, watching you guys, in my absence as well, what you've been doing, and I've been really enjoying what you're doing just as much as the actual watching the episodes. I liked Capaldi's knocked it right off, right out of the room again. His performance was rock solid, and I think I echo everyone here when I say it's going to be such a sadness when he leaves. The last time we're going to see him is at Christmas, which is a terrible shame, considering the fact that this season has really shown his acting muscles, more than maybe some other ones have. I enjoyed the interplay between the two masters, Missy and the master. I thought there was quite a good dynamic between the two of them, especially when they had moments with just two-handers. The Mondasian Cybermen were well realised. I'm glad it focused a bit more on them than the other Cybermen. They didn't get a lot to do rather than being blown up everywhere, the newer Cybermen. So it was intriguing with the different types of the time zones from the top of the ship to the bottom. I liked all that kind of thing. I thought that was quite clever. So I suppose that might play into something with the master going down the lift to the bottom level and Missy at a different level. I don't know. Time moves differently. Maybe something would come into play along the line about that. How that's worked out. I don't know, but and I loved the part at the end where David Bradley turns up. I thought that was lovely, and there was a lot of one-liners from the classic series that kept cropping up. Obviously, the one by Bradley was one of them. I'm the original, you might say. That kind of thing. So there was nice little echoes to the past. I can't wait for Christmas, and I really enjoyed this. Not just this episode, but the whole season as a whole. I think it's been pretty phenomenal, really.
Okay, let's move on to Vil.
All right, well, he brings up an interesting question, so I'll start there, which is considering where this left off and everything. I kind of wonder if the Doctor didn't end up landing back on the ship. I kind of wonder if we're not going to see Nardole and both Doctors. But as far as the episode goes overall, regardless of all of that, I was really impressed with the way it went. I thought it was kind of funny that I partially, and I cannot say that I called it exactly, but I partially called the whole Missy and the Master shooting one another thing. And ironically, it was under pretense that I said could be happening. What if Missy actually changed? But this leaves me wondering now, is Missy the final incarnation of the Master? Because there's no regenerating from that. And it's not like the Time Lords are going to keep resurrecting the Master. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, overall, I'm going to say great episode.
Okay, what do you have to say, Callum?
Yeah, well, to speak to that point, there's two ways that Missy could have avoided that. One of them, when Sim's master was unconscious, she picked up his laser screwdriver. Now, she could have messed with the settings there. And the second point is, just before the master shut her, she was spending a lot of time with her back to the master. You see quite a lot of her back there. She didn't turn towards him when he's giving his final speech. Now, I think she may have had special protection built into her outfit. That's my theory.
Yeah, it was like she was expecting it. You know, come on, she should have known not to turn her back on herself, for crying out loud. You know, of all people.
I think what's happened here is Mrs. pretended to the master that she doesn't remember anything, but she remembers everything. She's just pretending that. That's my theory.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Elijah.
Man, where to even start with this? Such an emotional roller coaster. A great way to sum up an end of an era. I know we have Christmas, but this was just, it blew me away. I liked the Cyberman and the Bill aspect. It kind of reminded me of, you know, how you had Rose Tyler as the moment, but not really the moment. It was just Bill thinking she was still Bill and not the Cyberman. So I like that. They used the Cyberman very well in this. They weren't the main focal point. They were what was coming, but it was really kind of the Doctor, the Master, and Missy, you know, their little, oh, what happened? Oh, okay. And let's see here. And what an amazing run for Peter Capaldi. I'm really going to miss him when he leaves at Christmas. He has been absolutely fantastic. And, of course, David Bradley showed up, and that was amazing. Amazing. Okay. Echo? Echo?
Yeah, Bill, what is it?
Okay. The one thing, and he kind of reminded me of it when he mentioned his thoughts on the Cybermen, the one thing that did really irk me in this episode, other than them pulling that way to save Bill at the end, was how did we suddenly, at the very beginning of the Cybermen's existence, even with that little bit of time distortion, have them pumping out Cybermen and pumping out Cybermen from the future, and how are all of them able to fly when that should have just been the very final...
I was gonna go into that during the... You're kind of lagging.
When you know, when I saw the pre, he was bringing in Cybermen from other.
Okay, you kind of lagged out there. I was going to explain this during open conversation. Like he said, it's a parallel evolution. While the Cybermen and all that were created on this ship, and what happened was, remember, years and years and years are going by on the bottom level of that ship. So those Cybermen are advancing and evolving. Now, yeah, and so that's what's going on. It's a parallel evolution. This isn't exactly the genesis of the Cybermen. That's actually going on Mondas and all that as planned, while this is going on this ship. So it's parallel evolution. They did mention it. Okay, let's move on to Lake Carol Ann.
Hello. First of all, I'm glad I'm finally able to come on here. It's been all season, and I finally got to join us. Yeah, I loved every little moment of this episode. It was incredible. Peter Capaldi, totally rocked, every little scene he was in. And I think that scene when he was addressing the Master and Missy, that whole speech, that is his speech. You know how every doctor has one speech, Matt Smith is like, hello, Stonehenge, and, stuff like that. This is his, speech that's going to be like probably like duplicated, and, fans are probably going to be asking other doctors to repeat it because he was just so brilliant. And, with him leaving, I know we have Christmas, but I'm going to have a really hard time next year, like getting used to another doctor. I don't think that's going to even, I may not even become a Whovian because I can't see how anybody's going to top him. I mean, he was just so awesome. I loved everything about this episode. Sim and Gomez were amazing together. They were just, their timing was brilliant. I just loved it. It was a perfect 100% awesome episode.
Okay. Let's move on to AJ.
Hi there. I really loved this episode. It was a roller coaster of action, adventure, emotions, and all that sort of stuff. I liked the very beginning part of the episode where it almost had a Night of the Living Dead feel, where you had the Cyberman just slowly stumbling towards the house. That was really, really awesome. I thought had that horror aspect. Michelle Gomez and John Sim, utterly brilliant together. Two sides of the same coin. Personally, I don't think that she's dead. I think he just lied to her. Why would the master want to kill himself? But, here we go. Kapali, absolutely the top best acting of his time as the Doctor. I'm going to say right here, right now. No one else could top his Doctor at the point, I think. Not even, everyone saying Matt Smith, David Tennant. David Bradley showing up. Total surprise. I loved it. It looks like we might be heading into sort of towards the end of the first Doctor's life, which is awesome. And Moffat, you've outdone yourself this time. It's good to see that you've hit your stride and you've just run with it, which is good to see. And I really love this episode.
Okay, let's move on to Callan.
Right now, looking at notes, I echo what everyone else has said, pretty much everyone's been wrong. Very clever, the Doctor, to change the definition of the humanity from one heart to two hearts. Well done, Mr. Moffat. That's very well done. I like the way Missy was confused. She couldn't decide whether she was with the Doctor or with her former self. When the Master is trying to wind up Bell, and Bell says, I am not upset. She should have said, I am not upset. You are a complete tosser. I like the way the Master thinks it may be wrong to think in a certain way towards Missy when he's giving her a little dance about. The speech the Doctor gives to the two Masters, I thought it was really, really good, trying to persuade him to stand with him. I don't do it because it's, I don't do it because it works, because it all ever does. It was very good, empathic and funny at the same time. The Doctor's entreaty to Missy and their Master. After that's finished, Missy says no. Then she shakes the Doctor's hand. I don't think we've seen that since Tom Baker and Anthony Ainley. When Missy strikes her umbrella on the ground and says to the Master, come here. If the Master wasn't a spidery senses were a tingling there, well, his name the Master I took him for. I could spot that right away. Anyway, then it was Puddle Girl at the end. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'll stick my tuppence with it and say I called that one. I also called something else, but I don't know if it was on the podcast, so anyway, that's mine. I'm through.
Okay, Graham.
Crap, caught me off guard there. I was up a total thought. How you doing, guys? This was absolutely sublime for me. Obviously, just one or two niggles, but nothing major. one of the guys I alluded to earlier, the pre-credit sequence when you've got the top knots coming up through the countryside to take the kids by the cover of night, just superb. Like Adrian alluded to, a la Night of the Living Dead. Gomez and Sim were superb together, absolutely stupendous. Bit of comedy and a bit of cynicism and bit of wit at the same time. Capaldi is just Capaldi. He's phenomenal in this. That speech when he's confronting the two masters, Farrett Seeds, his war speech in season 9 for me, that's the top of the list when it comes to him. Nardo, a lot more serious in this episode, but at the same time still funny, surprisingly, just because of the way he was putting things together and being the tech guy and coming up with all the weapons, hooking up the guns to the laptops and whatnot. Good stuff with regards to that. And even get a wee bit of attention off Samantha Spiro. Go figure. And I liked how they incorporated Paul Mackey in this. It could have been totally easy just to keep her in a Cyberman suit all episode and whip her out at the end for the, whatever you want to call it, the reset or whatever, or the happy-go-lucky ending. But no, what did they do instead? They fought outside the box, and she essentially became the Sam Beckett of this episode. A la Quantum Leap, when we see her as herself, even though she is in fact the Cyberman. So good stuff there as well. Epic directing from Rachel Talalay, especially in the whole blowing up scenes with the Cyberman when he's running through the field right at the end before the big blow up. Good stuff there as well. And once again, the sound score and the music has got to be commended, especially in the last 20 minutes of this episode. Absolutely phenomenal. Stephen Moffat isn't the only one getting out with a bang. Murray Gold is as well. I enjoyed the hell out of this.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Alex and Susan.
All right. This is, we're here at the Asgard, and it's a little Irish pub, and with a Doctor Who watch group. And so I just wanted to say that this episode was absolutely brilliant. There was so many good qualities to Peter Capaldi's performance, and Pearl Mackie was amazing. I usually talk about Michelle Gomez, but Pearl Mackie was amazing, super cool, and so yeah, that was pretty brilliant. And Alex, what did you think?
I did like the episode, especially Gomez and Sim and Capaldi. It was a good tribute, I guess, to the Moffat era. There's some things that I didn't understand. I don't know why he ended it that way, and I don't know if it was Bill's spirit that was taken away by the pilot or whatever. But there was a lot of good callbacks. I didn't really like the Capaldi doing the Matt Smith and David Tennant, but I guess he had to do it for fan service. But I mean, it was a great performance. It's good to see what he'll do with Bradley as the first Doctor, and hopefully the brand new season, even if we have to wait 9 months, is different. But this was a great almost ending for Capaldi.
All righty. Okay, let's move on to William.
Hey now, everybody. This was one of the best season finales I have seen in a very, very long time. I got to give a shout out to for Pearl Mackie for the Bill role. You can see Lord of the TV. Hold on. And I got to also give up for Nardo, even though a human is infatuated with him. He stood out very well in this episode. It's like I said maybe a year ago when we found out that a new showrunner was running it, that it's going to be hard. We will all watch the Christmas episode, but we want to see how the regeneration is going to take place and all that. So, but after watching it, it's going to be weird for me to want to watch Doctor Who, because, like, in my opinion, this man, a great actor and an Oscar winner, was forced out of the show. And this whole season, he showed that he could hold his own as a great actor and as a doctor. and this is the way he goes out. So anybody from the BBC or anything else, it could say that he left on his own. You know what I say about that. The Cybermen, like other people would not use that much, but they would use brilliantly, especially with the effects of them being blown up like that. Yeah, like Bill said, that them seeing the Mendasian Cybermen flying, that was weird, but like the Freedom explained, that the time, a lot of time went by, that technology was given to them, and that's why they all was able to fly. And most of them was just used to break the hole and blow themselves up. So just about that. I wish in that one of the last scenes when you saw the doctor fighting the Cyberman with his silent screwdriver, I wish Missy was there with him, back to back, and just going off. I mean, because we knew in a funny way that because of John Cena, the master has to go down and get injured to regenerate. We didn't expect Missy the same thing that happened to her. So that was so I really wanted her with the doctor back to back like that and maybe get injured herself and run off. But other than that, this episode stood out as one of the best I've seen in a very, very long time. And it's gonna be hard for the next showrunner and whoever the actor is to take after this. So that's my opening thoughts.
All righty. Okay, let's move on over to Kevin.
Well, what an awesome episode this was. I really loved every minute and every second of it. Beginning with Bill. I first thought that Bill was not a Cyberman, but then she looked in the mirror and then I was like, oh, she still is. And the Master and Missy working together. And the doctor is changing the one to only one heart to two hearts, so the Cyberman comes on then. That was just awesome. But that the doctor started to regenerate in the beginning when he was with Bill in the woods, and then he wore it off like no. And then at the end he said, "Oh, I don't want to change again, never again." And then of course you see the snow scene. And then out of nowhere, we see David Bradley as the first Doctor. I was really like, oh my God. I was really like, holy beep, So yeah, I really loved it. And Missy's probably not dead. She will regenerate in some way or not. But it's very rare that the Master will kill himself. We did not see the regeneration of the Master. I would love to see that scene. And Nardole, he's going to be on that ship, or maybe not forever. We have to wait to see to Christmas. So that's my opening thoughts.
Okay, and Philip.
All right. Well, I haven't had the pleasure of watching this with Elijah and company. I really enjoyed this episode. This was really good. I did like what got me, Bill's conversation with the doctor when she's trying to come to terms with the fact that she is actually a Cyberman, even though you see her she looks at herself in a perception sort of way filter. That was kind of good little byplay there. I enjoyed that part of it. The two masters, they were very well realized together. They were fun. They were kind of weirdly sexual with each other, which is funny as well. And I like the fact, but I do think everybody's thinking that Missy's not dead. I think she's done there because that was full force weapons fire on her, and I don't think we'll see her. But I'm thinking with Sim, he only got stabbed, so he's probably got a chance of regenerating and becoming someone else. Capaldi, what can you say about that? What everybody else hadn't said. He's done a good job here, and a tiny bit of me is kind of saying I'm going to miss him, even though he wasn't my daughter, but I am going to miss him. He's done a good job there, and the speech with the masters that he did, that was top notch. I also did enjoy the fact that he's as he's trying not to regenerate, he's named off each of the regeneration taglines. If you heard all those the regeneration taglines, that was a nice touch. And now with him meeting up with his former self, I'm hoping good things from the Christmas episode to come. Overall, it's a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Like I said, I was amazed that AJ pointed that out because that's why I wrote down. I wrote down opening, the Top Knot attack, Night of the Living Dead. That's what it reminded me of, right out of the movie, with them guys coming stalking up towards a farmhouse, and they're all blowing away at them with shotguns or whatever, some kind of weaponry. Also, how many here, when the two masters were dancing, almost heard playing "Dancing with Myself" by Billy Idol? Or maybe that was just me.
I'd thought about that last week.
Yeah. Then you have the mention of parallel evolution, which, by the way, means, guess what? All you folks who've been out screaming all week, that means spare parts is intact. Yay!
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that whole thing anymore. Of course. How many here, when you saw the shuttle scene where Nardole comes rising up to the building and there's the doctor waiting for the shuttle? How many Back to the Future thoughts? Okay. And okay, now we get to the one thing that was mentioned also, Cyberbill. The first thing that popped into my head was a little phrase called residual self-image. The Matrix.
Whoa.
She was so out of it that she still pictured herself as her human form, and she was blocking out the fact that she was a Cyberman. That was very, very keen. That was very, very cool. Okay, let's start off with Doctor Who Commentator. What do you got?
Just a little thing I wanted to point out. I mean, we finally now got from this episode, because I was curious last week how many days, months, or years were actually passing between the time zones, and now we know it's been 10 years. So am I the only one who seems to have noticed that Bill has not aged at all within those 10 years?
Actually, no, I did. They did they did age her up a bit. If you look really close, you can tell by the makeup and all that, she did appear physically older. But you got to remember, 10 years, in a human lifespan, she was very, very young. So it's not like she's going to come walking out looking like a grandma with a cane or anything like that. So I think they did a good job aging her, because if you look right into her face, they did age her up a bit with makeup. Okay, right. Texas Tim.
To your point about Bill, I think that was a good idea also for the episode, because obviously it wasn't her wearing the costume; it was a stunt person or whatever. And it's better for the audience to have the connection with the character and see her as she really is. That makes you share her experience that she's feeling. And that was a brilliant device to use. If they had done it with her just being a Cyberman the whole time, that would have got old really quick, and you wouldn't even thought about Bill. To the point about the Master or Missy, it's perfectly okay. They're just going to keep with the tradition of the Master gets killed, and guess what? He shows up again. It doesn't matter. It's Doctor Who. That's what they do with the Master. They did in the classic series all the time. And here they've had the clever idea of having them shoot each other or kill each other so that they cancel each other out. How are you going to come back from that? Well, we'll see it. Whenever the Master comes back in the future, we'll know. That's how they won't explain it. They'll just say, oh, so he escaped from whatever. So that's how they'll do it. That's how they always have done it.
You escaped from Zarefas. You escaped from Gallifrey. He just pops back up like a bad penny. He just turns up every night. Okay, AJ.
Two things. For starters, with Bill seeing herself as human reminded me of when the 11th Doctor met Clara as a Dalek, where she kept thinking that she was human, but she was trapped inside that Dalek. You remember that? There was that, and there was also that part where the Doctor was running through the forest, sonicking all of the different Cybermen. That was Rambo. That was the Doctor's Rambo moment, so I thought that was pretty epic.
Also, the fact he was naming off planets we know that were taken over and run over by the Cybermen. That all you classic fans will know names like Volga, Planet 14, stuff like that. Those are right out of the classic series. And I thought that was an excellent nod, to go back to the Cyberman history kind of way. And Telos, of course, which was a key one. Okay, William.
This gives me an idea, a suggestion that since we would like to see what happened with Nardole, and of course if Missy recovers in any way, like Callan might have suggested, because the way she always had her back to the Master, whether she had anything there or maybe the umbrella absorb it. I say they should do a special Big Finish audio just to solve this thing once and for all, just a one-off with just an Nardole story and Missy story, and of course Bill, just give them a finale, a little peacefully, but not a continuing series, just a one-off. That'll really be nice, especially Nardole with the human who's infatuated with him. That'd be nice to see about that.
The Further Adventures of Nardal. Okay, Philip.
I did like the callback of the TARDIS DMAT circuit. That was very nicely done, and it was exactly the same shape and everything, although smaller. It's the same thing. I love that. That was like a scream moment for me. I was like, oh wow, there we go. So that was cool.
Okay, Beefhead.
I know we've talked a lot about the directing, the acting and everything like that, but I've got to say about Moffat and Rachel Taylor-Leigh and the directing. Yeah, we've made the analogy with the Night of the Living Dead with the top knots at the start of it, but this is the thing, the subtext of it is so elegant, because the thing is, once the ship has landed, you have what for me is a really iconic image, that you have Cyber Bill carrying out what looks like the dead, lifeless body of the Doctor. And for me, that reminded me of something like Frankenstein, because you have the monster carrying the body of the girl who was thrown in the lake, and you have this idea of the monster that is kept in the barn. Bill perceives herself one way and she sees herself one way, but everyone else is afraid of her. So in essence, you have like a Frankenstein type creature, and Bill as a Cyberman, you feel sympathy for it, and she, as the Cybermen as a whole are supposed to be the villains of the piece. And also the point that where Nardal mentions the Alamo. We think we've had Doctor Who meets a Western. No, this was a bang out a Western finale for me. This was like a Sergio Leone movie, to be honest with you, because you had the two masters who didn't trust each other. It's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was a case of, they ended up doing themselves over because they distrusted each other so much. But it was a case of the three of them defending, the village, defending the innocents against insurmountable odds. For me, the bit where, the Doctor is just like bouncing through the trees, taking out Cybermen left, right, and everything like that. He was like the old gunslinger who's basically, this is the last hurrah. He ain't going out. He ain't going out quietly, but it's insurmountable odds, and he knows it's going to die. It is for me, directorially and written wise. It's so layered and so clever, and for me, that's where it was so sexy, man.
The Magnificent Time Bunch. Okay, Elijah.
Well, me and Beef were talking earlier this week about the whole Bradley thing and him wearing that white scarf, which was only used in the 10th planet. What was interesting is before he even got to Capaldi, he was saying, I will not change, I will not. No, the whole thing's ridiculous. So is it possible we could also see Bradley beforehand getting, because he died of exhaustion, but will we kind of get two regenerations in one? And if you look, someone on Twitter put up the similarities of his outfit style, but yeah, we'll have to see at Christmas.
Yeah, it's very obvious, that they've landed at the South Pole 1986. And like you said earlier, I think they're going to take advantage of that Doctor gap in the 3rd episode of the 10th Planet is what's going to happen, which is going to be very, very nice that they're tying back to an episode all the way back at the very, first Doctor. I really love the fact they're doing it. Doctor commentator.
Just wanted to go off something that Tim was saying. He's talking about oh, don't worry, the master will come back. Now, are you talking, Tim? Are you talking about Missy's the Missy Master, or are you talking about John Sim Master? Because if you're talking about John Sim Master, oh, he'll regenerate, he'll come back. Yeah, I could agree with you there. Missy, I really don't think so, simply because her character has changed almost so significantly now that I don't think you could realistically have her betraying the Doctor again.
I was talking about the classic Master in the classic series. There was never any explanation. The last time you saw him, he was shrunk down to the size of an action man, and then he came back as a cat man. So I mean, my point is that there's never any explanation as to his returning. It's always like a line the Doctor says, "Oh, so you've escaped from whenever."
I'm not saying you need to. I'm not saying.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter if they canceled each other out anyway in this episode. It's a show about time travel. Guess what? You will see the Master again.
Yeah, I'm not saying you need to have an explanation for their return. I'm just saying, which Master are you talking here? Are you talking about Missy Master returning or John Sim?
I was actually talking about the classic ones.
I don't
All
think
right.
you're going to see Missy Master again, at least not, in any time soon, because she already said that she's leaving with the show with everybody else.
I'm talking with what I'm actually talking is would Missy regenerate is what I'm talking about.
I more than likely, yeah. Come on, she knows her own self. I think she had a way out of it. I think that's why she was actually laughing. It could be the fact she's not dead. She could have easily went into a voluntary coma, like we've seen the Doctor do how many times. So, because come on,
Well, maybe, but I'm more convinced the idea that she has chosen to die, and with that, we even have some closure of the Master, as well as having some potential in between Missy and Sim Masters to close the gap. It's kind of like River Song.
All right, hang on. Look, let me chime on this. Your main issue seems to be today with her personality at DWC. Is that right?
Sorry?
Your main issue seems to be with her personality.
Exactly.
Well, every incarnation's personality is different.
Maybe.
No,
okay.
it's...
All right, we got a lot of hands up, so I got to keep moving. Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, had they gone the route with Bill surviving as the Cyberman, it would inevitably have ruined it, and probably during Christmas would have been that annoying immortalized Clara and her TARDIS picking her up, and then forever on afterward we'd be hearing, "I am K9."
Okay, Texas Tech.
I like the ambiguity of the ending, because as far as Nardole is concerned, the Doctor and Bill went off to a suicide mission, so he doesn't know what happened. Only Bill really knows what happens, because they dropped the Doctor off in the TARDIS and left him there, and then they went off to go have their little girly adventures wherever. And so, I mean, even the Doctor doesn't know what became of Bill or Nardole. So it's and then, since he's on his own regeneration crisis at this point, it's gonna be interesting to see how they follow up on it. But I mean, I think it's kind of cool that nobody really knows what's going on as far as those three leads are concerned.
Okay, Graham.
Yeah, I just picked him up on that. Yeah, that's a fair point. And as far as Bill's concerned, the Doctor is dead. So, even though she said she would never truly believe it, but when she left to go down Puddle Lane with Heather, bloody computer froze there, sorry about that. When she left to go down Puddle Lane with Heather, the old fella was sprawled out on the console room. So, yeah. Great visuals in that console room shot, by the way, again by the lighting crew and Rachel Talalay, it must be said, especially when the whole mind thing woke him up as he was starting to regenerate and the lights shot up. And then you had obviously all the flashbacks of the previous, pre-2005 companions. And a word on John Sim and his comedy on this thing tonight. That scene with Bill, didn't you used to be a woman? I'm going to be a woman soon. You got any tips? How about some old bras? Yeah, just even he can be funny, which I thought was quite good.
Okay, Kellen.
Right, just back to the Master thing again. I mean, if you kill off the Master totally, where the hell are you going to get an arch villain like that? They just jump in the trees, How are you going to get somebody as strong and powerful as a body as that? Getting enough Time Lord to be to take the job of the personality of the Master? Might as well keep the one the Master you've got. It's somebody with a bit of history behind them.
Yeah. Okay, AJ.
Yeah, I like that scene where the Doctor's laid out on the ground and Bill comes up and then falls to a knees right next to him. He looked a lot like a Pertwee there for a little while, with the hair flayed out, his coat with the red and the black. He looked like Pertwee in his cape, I thought.
Yeah, he did kind of lay in there. Yep. Okay, Philip.
I did like how they explained the Master's escape from Gallifrey. I like how they explained that away. So that was like they fixed him up and then booted him back out again. Get out, you're not wanted. But that was kind of cool. So I'm happy with that explanation in case anybody else wasn't.
It was a mutual kicking out.
Yeah.
Okay, Beef.
I think what a lot of us are talking around it, I think what it is it's been structured in a very good way when you think you've got one writer, showrunner handing off to another. Because what he's done is he's left it open and left the toys in the box that if they want to go back and use them again. Nardole has continued in his idea of, in his role of a custodial type thing, to be honest with you. Instead of looking after the Doctor, make sure he honours his things, he's now the custodian of, you know, Hazran and the kids, so he's looking after that. Yeah, Bill, there's the option to bring her back later, but her story, you know, if you look at it in a case of like the season and everything like that, has been like a love story, and it's got to the end of it. You know, her first love returns back to her, and at the end of the day saves her. So yeah, her story really is a love story. Yeah. If you work it on the, you know, the Master with a bootstrap type paradox thing about, you know, bringing back the circuit that was needed anyway, you know, there's the option there to bring back the Master later, and then obviously you've got the Doctor, and you know, the tier was the sort of jumper cable that needed to get him back moving again. It was very elegantly done. All the things that people have, I must say, have bashed Stephen Moffat for, you know, over the years. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if he wants to give everyone up, you know, the BBC included, yeah, 2 fingers up. To be honest with you, he's well within his rights, because he is really taking it above and beyond tonight. Christ knows what's going to come at Christmas, but yeah, I've got to say, tonight has been spectacular. That was the thing. That was one thing that got me as well, is that you can blame him for being, at some points, you know, for being predictable and everything like that. But to be honest with you, for fan service, there's a certain element of it when you're watching a show and he's going about, well, how are you going to take on this like an army of Cybermen? And everyone who must have been sat there watching it said, you need me. Everyone must have said that at the same time watching that back, because you could just predict the line coming. But that's like everyone high-fiving each other in the fandom. And by the time this finished, you want to turn around and just sort of like hug someone and say, yeah, it's going to be okay. Okay, he's going, but it's going to be okay. It had that sort of feel to it. And I've got to say, yeah, it was so good, man.
Okay, Graham.
I can only echo what Beef said there to a degree. Nardo, you know, I've got to say, huge praise to Matt Lucas throughout this whole season, man. He's not been used, he's not been underused, he's not been in your face for a lot of the time, but he's been a real standout. I've got to give him huge praise. And how does he get rewarded? By shacking up with Miss Flanagan and a bunch of kids on the cyberspace ship. Why not, you know? And coincidentally, Frank, Carol, if you want to chime in, feel free, you're off for quiet. You too, Kevin. Just saying.
Yep, she's way caught. She's more than willing to try anything once. Okay, Callan.
To speak to Nardole and Miss Flanagan and the kids, it's possible because the ship is actually heading out to the black hole, but this time it's outside the black hole's influence because it's massive gravity. So time on the ship will turn to normal and the Cybermen will be easier killed. Because the way I built the way I had the bodies to make more Cybermen, perhaps. That's what I was thinking. And again, I could have else said, Peter Capaldi, fantastic, knocked out to the park, shielded into the next park, it bounced off the back wall. Palamaki, absolutely fabulous. Matt Lucas, stand-up job. It would be a completely different series if Matt Lucas hadn't been there this series. Somebody needed to be there. Everybody's in a bang-up job in this one.
Plus the fact that they do have a few years, because remember, the people that were in the bottom of the ship were the descendants of the guys who went down there. So it's not like the Cybermen are going to get busy and make some more anytime soon. You know, it's going to take them a while. Okay, William.
Here's a question. Maybe you can answer this. Remember when David Tennant was going to regenerate and he used it just to heal himself and put the rest to the hand. Mm-hmm. Now every time this doctor was stopping himself from regenerating, is he wasting a regeneration or not?
No, he's like holding in a pee. You force it in.
Yeah. That's what I thought. It's like holding in a poop. Yeah.
But eventually you're either going to let it go or you're going to blow up.
Well, it's going to let it go at Christmas.
Suck it up.
Yeah, no refrains of let it go. Okay.
So technically he has not regenerated yet.
Nope.
Okay. Somebody
He's not
lost.
regenerated yet. The process has started, but he keeps interrupting it.
He's trying to suppress it.
There's a two parts to regeneration. You go, oh, sorry.
All right,
No,
yeah,
come on,
go
Izzy,
one
sorry,
at a
Izzy.
time here because we got a lot of people with hands up. Okay, Texas Tim.
Is it not clear from what they? Never mind. I'll have to come back to you.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay, Phil.
Okay, two things. One is in regards to the whole treatment of it. I really think that, like I said, the Cybermen were done really well, but you did answer that problem I had with the flying, so thanks there. I had missed that point. But altogether, I'm kind of wondering what in the hell's going to happen with that ship now. Is it out of the black hole yet? Or are we going to see it in another plot? So those are just some questions I had lingering. And as far as Moffat goes, yes, he did great with this. I love this departure he's doing. But I'm sorry, it's not going to make me excuse all of the crap that he's heaped up on us. I don't think that would be intellectually honest to suddenly go, oh my God, Stephen Moffat's been awesome the whole time. This just shows what he really could do and really why I was so upset with him for quite a while. And then lastly, I just wanted to say, going back to the whole Master leaving Gallifrey thing, think about it. The Gallifreyans don't want the Master poking around, dicking around with them, so they have the perfect way to deal with it. Kick him out and say, go plan the Doctor's sandbox.
I like that. The Master's bad piloting landed him there. Okay, Elijah.
I guess one thing that I discovered earlier is with the press release of the Bradley photo, Blogger Who also put up there that basically Bradley's role apparently is taking the task of convincing the 12th Doctor that it's time to regenerate. So that apparently that's what his purpose is.
All right, well, who'd better spoiler warning in this motherfucker now? So like,
Go!
Yeah, me.
It was on Blogger Who.
Language.
I thought for sure it was going to be Kevin. Callan, how could you? Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing with the regeneration, it's a two-part process. You've got the reset, which resets the body, and then you've got the regeneration itself. It's happened 2 times previously with 10 and 11, where they both healed their bodies first, and then they regenerated.
Okay, Graham.
AJ just basically stole my point. How could you, AJ? But while I have the flair, Brian, do Carol and Frank and Kevin know they can chime in here, but they need to raise their hand? They're sitting off for quiet.
Yeah, okay. All right, Cybermop just raised his hand. Yeah, okay. Did you have anything to add, Carol-Ann, or nothing? Okay, what about you, Kevin?
Well, I really like the scene at the end. That's Bill gets her a happy ending, like Phil Arch predicted, and when the first episode was out.
Also, a couple things I want to bring up before I jump to the next person. The fact they mentioned the freaking Waltons. Come on, that was such an American. The only reason I know about the Waltons is because my freaking parents used to force me to watch it every freaking Sunday morning. Okay, that's such an American show. I'm shocked they brought that up.
The Waltons.
The Waltons.
Good night, John Boy.
Also, wasn't it handy and money saving that the Cybermen just happened to evolve past all the other models straight to the Cybus models? That way they didn't have to go out and make costumes for them. Okay.
Yeah.
The appearance of the
Brian?
Oh yes. What?
I'm just wondering, didn't the Geneva Convention actually outlaw people making you watch the Waltons?
No, that was I think it was the Patriot Act. Okay, dematerialization circuit. I love the fact that we had one appear on screen for the first time in a while. Okay, let's move. All right. So that's just a couple more points I wanted to get to. All right, let's go down to Philip.
You know what? When people are saying that if Nardo's going to be stuck on that ship for how long, considering the fact that the Master's TARDIS is on that ship, right? What if they kind of find it and they can use that with the Master's help to get off that ship and go elsewhere? So we could feasibly see Nardo return in some future story via the Master's TARDIS trip.
Okay, AJ.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention John Sims' Master being a bit emo in this episode, putting mascara on.
Oh, yeah. I think so. You only just wrapped my memory about that. Yeah.
And also,
I was beginning to worry he was going to start practicing bra.
And also, the Doctor giving an Apple hand grenade, that was pretty awesome. So very good use of Apple tech.
Yeah.
It's all about the upgrade, yeah.
Was it just me, or did Sim seem to be extremely Delgado in this episode? His attitude and everything else? How many else caught on?
He was a little bit more sort of slick, wasn't he? Yeah.
He even said about the beard going for a classic look, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep, so I love that. Especially, this is the face of someone who just didn't listen to a word you just
said.
I knew that was going to come.
That sounded so Delgado to me. It's something that he would say. Plus, the way his attitude was, the way he poised himself and all that, it reminded me a lot of Roger Delgado. Who, by the way, before you start commenting, yes, I know he died back in 1973. Sheesh, I got sick of those frickin' comments. I had to unlist that video because people were still putting that up. Sheesh. Okay, Graham.
No, just on Sam. I quite enjoyed his exit as well, laughing maniacally as he's going down in the lift shaft. Is it the end, my lonely friend, the end? It probably is, but if that's it, what a way to go.
Okay, back to Texas Tim.
That was my question. Didn't they kind of make it clear that that he regenerates into Missy, and that's what she sent him to do by stabbing him, which was off screen, of course, because this is a family program. I thought that was the whole irony of the bit, that he shoots her in the back, and that's it. They both cancel each other out. So they do leave it open for another master later, but I thought it was at least made clear that she follows him, even though she was very ambiguous about it in these last two episodes. It's pretty clear that he regenerates into her, and then she has her bit now, and it's apparently ended as well. But as Colin pointed out, there's one or two ways she could have got out of that. So my whole point was that the master always returns. It doesn't matter what ungodly fate he meets. He's still going to return someday.
I know,
that's his whole, yeah.
No, especially when we had some idiot online, and I'm referring to a certain person named Matt, and I'm not talking about Matt Rose, who isn't with us tonight, who was running around saying that Samantha Spiro is going to be an incarnation between Gomez and Sim, showing just how much he doesn't know jack squat. Oh, okay, Callan.
Well, he didn't know who John Nathan Turner was either.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I loved both the masters laughing maniacally. That's what you want. That's what they would do. You feel. If there was real masters, they would laugh in the face of death.
Yep. AJ.
Yeah, when you mentioned that Delgado died in 1973, I just saw a connection between Doctor Who, John Sims the Master, and Life on Mars, which takes place during 1973. I thought I mentioned that.
Okay, Graham.
Another special mention for Peter Capaldi in the barn scene with Bill when he's trying to break it to her, the fact that she's actually a Cyberman. You're like, ooh, tough pill to swallow, acted wonderfully.
Yeah, that was really sweet. Yeah.
Okay, Vil.
Nobody has asked the most important question tonight. If Master and the Misty, if the Master and Missy shagged, would that be masturbation?
Oy vey. Okay,
well, yeah. Well.
No, it'd be the Master Miss.
It would be mutual.
What?
Can't remember what the hell I was going to say now. What was it? I'll hit the type this, dude. Sorry. I'll raise my hand later.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I think we've run it.
Carol was raising her hand.
Yeah, because I just thought of something. I actually was trying to figure out how to say it because I'm like tongue-tied. But, I was actually thinking if, I really don't think Missy is coming back. I think she is dead. And I think that's probably, and I don't know how to raise my hand electronically. I don't see anything down on the bottom to do that. So that's why I was just listening to you guys.
We got plenty of time before next season to show you all that. So for now, just go like this or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoyed listening to what you guys were saying, and everything I was thinking you guys already said anyway. So I just wanted to sit back and listen. But the one thing I do think about Missy, and partly because of what Michelle Gomez said, she actually made it sound like she was done with the show, because her and Capaldi had such a good rapport with each other. That would be kind of different, Missy coming back, and with the way her character progressed, where you knew she was becoming kind of good, if you want to say, I think it would be hard. So I think she is dead. But we don't know for sure if, you know, Sim's master turns into Gomez yet. I mean, we don't know that, you know. So I think the master is going to show back up, but it's going to be in between, you know, Sim and Gomez's master. And another thing I did want to mention is I really did not like what they did with what's her face? I'm having a brain fart here. You know, the last companion, the one who was all controlling. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I didn't like the way they continued her character, where she died, but then she. Yeah?
You mean Clara?
Oh, Clara. You know, so I thought that was stupid. Now here, yeah, there was the nice big magical button that they pushed to save, you know, Bill's life, but I kind of liked it because they didn't change her back into a human. She kind of like died or whatever as a Cyberman. She was a Cyberman, and then that, you know, her girlfriend water creature thingy came back and saved her, you know, and changed her into whatever creature she is. So, I mean, I actually like that, you know, and now they could do their own adventure, but she was always a Cyberman. The doctor did not push a magical red reset button and stop her from being a Cyberman. So I actually really enjoyed that. And the last thing I want to say about this episode, which I think really makes this such a great episode, is the cinematography. Whoever came up with the cinematography, this was actually like, this wasn't a TV show. This was a 1 hour movie. And whoever came up with, you know, like that scene where you saw her, when Bill saw her shadow as a Cyberman, I mean, that cinematography was incredible. So, yeah. So, I mean, everybody really took their heads out of their you-know-what, worked together and created something that I think everybody could really enjoy. And I'm going to be surprised. I'm sure there's people out there hating it, but, you know, based on what I've heard tonight, I think, you know, you would have to be a complete moron if you hated anything about this episode. So.
To have a word with people like that.
Okay, Kellen. You still have your hand up, Kellen.
Yeah, I know. Right, yeah, kudos to Rachel Tull for the directing. I forgot to say that. Missy said there's a woman pushed her through the wall and thought that always carry an extra dematerialization circuit. Will there be a new Missy? Will the next master be a female? Was it a lie?
Okay, William.
I think for Missy, I think of course since we're all wishing and waiting for Big Finish to announce that they have Capaldi, I think it's easily to assume that if they get him, they can easily have her because, you know, having her there and she has done it before as another character, so she'd be great to be coming to go to Big Finish.
Okay, Philip.
Sorry. Right. I found it interesting that we heard a cloister bell as the doctor was leaving the TARDIS at the end there, and that normally denotes danger. So, and who was he shouting to when he was trying to say, like, I'm not going to do it? Was he talking to the TARDIS, or was there a Time Lord intervention there going on?
It was
Just
himself.
talking to yourself, I think.
Yeah, just like Tenet.
Okay, fair enough. But
I can see that.
I did like the cloister bell ringing because I thought, oh, there's trouble going on here. So that was cool.
Okay, Graham.
Just picking obviously Carol Ann and obviously Tim up with the tail end of her 2 cents there with regards to you know, morons online who might be necessarily shitting out a certain thing in a given time. I'm just curious, when Missy, you know, collapsed indeed after a laugh and won the forest, she's sprawled out, they're ready to go. I wonder if there was still those said few morons online on YouTube who still believe she was another character sitting there saying, ding dong, the Randy's dead. Just saying.
Yep. Okay. Any other points? I think we've
umbrella.
2 times. Then we come to my favorite part of the episode where Moffat pulls the chicken switch again. Yay! But at the same time, like I said, I know why he did it. because he didn't want to necessarily kill off the character. He wanted to, Bill to be possibly around in case maybe events change or something like that.
No, but is she not still dead?
Yeah, she is kind of, but remember, she told her that she can bring her back as human anytime she really wanted. It's just,
Well, this has been pretty much the same thing as flying off in a restaurant. You're not going to see her again, I don't think. It was a way to write out the character and have her live happily ever after, I suppose.
Okay, I don't want to say too
There's
much.
a stipulation to that, Tim, but don't worry about it.
No, hold on. She had two choices. She could have either been a Cyberman, which she already told the doctor, if I'm stuck like this, go ahead and kill me. I don't want to be like this. Or her magical fairy puddle girlfriend shows up and says, hey, come with me. I've been watching you. You're a lot of fun. Let's go do whatever we want to do as puddles.
Yeah. Puddle. Yeah, I called her Puddles the Magic Water Alien, not to be confused with Puddles Pity Party. Okay, so this is Puddles the Magic Water Alien. Yeah, it comes in at the last minute, and they pull the chicken switch, and of course, oh look, they fly off. And as I remember what I called Clara and me as they flew off, time sluts. Now we have Time Sluts 2, the lesbian dimension. So once again, another companion blows off consequences and becomes an immortal person who gets to run the universe around with her super companion who travels through time and space and can pilot a TARDIS. That was my only drawback of this whole episode. Everything else, incredibly brilliant. And like I said, at the same time, I know why. Okay, if you don't want to be spoiled for the Christmas episode, go like this or turn your audio off. All right, ready? So you've been forewarned. Okay, Pearl Mackey's been spotted on set for the Christmas filming.
Yes.
We know that.
As to how big a role, I don't know. Okay, so you can unplug now. All right, there. So you're in the clear. All right, so I just wanted to mention that because I think that might be part of why they went with that particular ending. I don't know. Or could just be a flashback. We don't know. All right. So now that we've gone over it. It's been a hour. What is it, text him?
Sorry, I missed a bit. What did I miss?
Okay. Like I could bring up the photo, but like I said, I don't want to.
No, I know you said that she's been spotted on Christmas filming. No big deal, but
yeah.
Is that rumor still possible that she may actually be continuing? Because I thought this kind of effectively wrote her out.
Yeah, well, she has talked to Chibnall, but like I said, I don't know. Does he want a clean slate? Does he want his own companion? Only time will tell. But like I said, I kind of think she's leaving myself. I agree with you on that. I think that they kind of gave her the happy ending, not the kind you get at the massage parlor, as Bill is.
Well, no, but keep in mind the doctor is in a serious state of regeneration. He's really holding back some serious pee. So I mean, he may just be having visions of her. That may be all she is. I mean, we never know.
Yeah, it could be that too. So okay.
Why do you already have the script, Philip?
No, just never mind.
Yeah, I'm about to say a script that I didn't know of, you bastard. Okay.
Come on, Phil.
All right, Kellen.
What the hell was I going to say? Yeah, I think they've left it like that, so Chibnall can decide to take her on, or not, as the case may be. There's a chance she can just be turned back into human. It's all a matter of atoms. And that's no problem. Puddle Girl can manage that, and she can stroll off with Puddle Girl after the end of the next series. Whatever you like.
I thought that's what the whole point was, that she got her free happy ending. Like, I'm going to go visit the universe with Puddle Girl.
You know what, Tim? They could just give her a final hurrah with the Christmas special, just for the sake of saying goodbye to.
You just want him to bring her back and have her hang for treason or something, because that's what you want.
No, I think it's just something for Kapali to sort of say, there you go, I've regenerated, you learn what a Time Lord does. And then she can go off with her little wet girlfriend and enjoy herself.
Oh, good. No, the thing is, you brought up the title Puddle Girl, and I keep thinking, wow, talk about the name of a Marvel comic superhero that didn't quite make the Avengers. What's her superpower? Well, you see Thanos pops up, and she wets herself. Okay.
The big drip, yeah.
Talk about a superpower you don't want. Okay. Just, kind of like Philip when he met Tom Baker and Liz Slater. But okay, moving on. Now that we've gone over it for quite a while. Let's go ahead and let's rate this sucker. Unfortunately, let's put the season to bed, shall we? All right, so starting at the top left corner with Kevin, out of 10, how do you rate The Dr. Falls?
Well, this is the first time I'm going to give this episode of the season 10. A 10 out of 10. I really love this. Can't wait for next Christmas special.
Okay, William.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. And I can't wait for the Christmas one now. Whether I'm going to continue watching it after that, something have to impress me for me to come back. But I'm very still upset of this great actor being forced out of the show.
For God's sake.
Okay, Alex and Susan, are you there? There we go.
Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, I'd give the execution a 9. I'd give the story probably a 7. Like I said, it's been the acting and the scenery and just basically how much energy the actors have put into their roles that have made the series for me.
There's an execution.
And I'll disagree with Alex again, but I'll give it a 10 out of 10 again because it's wonderful, wonderful stuff. A super amazing episode with a super amazing result. Anyway, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, Graham.
You know what? I'm swaying here. I was going to get a 9.75, just mainly for the fact that after all the bitching with regards to Samantha Spiro, and it turned out all she was basically the runner of an orphanage. But you know what? Taking all the facts and figures into consideration and how remarkable the cast was, this gets a 10. Roll on Christmas, and to echo Will's sentiments, screw you, BBC.
Okay, Kellen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, last week's episode, I think I gave it an 8, but I'm up in that to a 10 now because this episode was good. Because you're only judging both together, and I'm giving this one a 10 as well. So if people that like it, they can do one.
Okay, AJ.
Yeah, for me, this is going to be a straight 10. This is one of the best episodes of this season. And sadly, Capaldi's, last hurrah until Christmas.
Okay, Carol Ann.
I'm giving this a perfect 10. Yeah, this episode can't be, downgraded at all, in my opinion. I mean, I actually think this is probably the best episode for the whole season. And, they have, going forward, they have a huge job, trying to match this episode. And I really, personally, I'm going to be surprised if it happens. So.
Okay, Elijah.
This is a fantastic episode. The emotional roller coaster, like I said. And I'm going to have to give this one a 10 as well.
All right, Frank.
Yeah, I really love this. I'm just going to go slightly down from the everyone else here and give it a 9.5.
All right, Dr. Commentator. Okay, gives it a 10. All right. Beef.
Gadzooks, how could I not give it anything less than a 10? Really, the cast is, as they have been all the way through, they've just been stellar. But, this episode, the directing was outstanding. And, as much as, for a long time, everyone has wanted to, hang them off from a nearest tree, he danced a tightrope like no one's business tonight. You didn't want him to do something. He did it anyway. Screw you guys. He did it anyway. But the thing is, the difference is he gave you characters you actually gave a crap about this year. And it's a case of you want him to kill him, but then you're going to criticize him if you do kill him. Well, do you know what? He did both, and you got it. And I tell you what, BBC reaped the goddamn whirlwind, because I tell you what, this is what you had. This is what you had. Yeah, let's see what comes up next year. But I'll tell you what, this is a hell of a tough act to follow.
All right.
So, he could. At the end of the day, Stephen Moffat, boom, mic dropped. I'm out of here. See you later, sunshine. Christmas is by the by, but without witness, without reward, without everything like that, boom. The signs were there, and sewn up beautifully. Thank you very much. 2017.
Okay, Vil.
Well, I'm going to say on a scale of what we have, we'll call it a 10.
All right.
Definitely give it.
Philip?
Okay, yeah. Because this was one of my favorite finales today, and we still got one more bit to go. I enjoyed it quite well. The I can't say that word. The photograph bit, the cinematography was very well done. Although I did have negative bit, some of it was quite dark in some places, but that's nothing. So I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because I thought some of the farm bits they could have cut that and moved to other locations rather than stuck in that same location.
Okay, Texas Tim.
Oh, I'm going to agree with everybody that says this is probably one of the best series finales so far since the show has come back in 2005. It was very good. It was very well done. And I can only just echo what my other bookend Tim said that pretty much F you if you don't get it. I mean, it's brilliant. This is great. And the idea that you thought you were going to get this and you didn't think you were going to get that. And, and I can't believe anybody would find any fault with this. This is a perfect series. And I'm with Will and Graham and Beefhead and AJ. And everybody says, you know what, BBC, you don't know what you're about to be missing because you have something really good and you're just letting it go because you're stupid.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.5. Like I said, and the only reason I'm dropping the 0.5 is because they wrote out Bill almost exactly the same way they wrote out Clara. Like I said, it got to be the point it's getting predictable where the companion does something and, instead of facing any consequence, congratulations, you're now immortal and you can go fly around time and space. That, to me, kind of took some of the drama out of it at the end. That epic scene with her as a Cyberman crying over the doctor, I thought was phenomenal. Then you got Puddles, the magic alien, showing up to save everybody. It just, that was just a tiny little thing. Like I said, I can't drop it more than 0.5, though, because the rest of the episode was so damn epic. It was just beyond amazing. So, like I said, it'll get a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Okay, Graham.
Just a quick thing before we wrap here, and as the echoes of time, drive by and the years go on, and you rate classic episodes and whatnot, and your doctors are all put and your lists are compiled. I think you'll find this two-parter along we haven't sent. I'll be right up there with some of your classics from back in the day, for goddamn sure.
Yeah. This will definitely be in the list of probably, if not the best season ender they've had.
Yeah.
It also feels like Capaldi was phenomenal throughout this whole episode. He was just amazing. Okay, well, we're going to take a couple weeks off before we decide to move on to another subject, mainly because I'm on vacation and summer is now upon us, and now we've got a few months to wait for Christmas. And I know are out there sitting there going, oh, I can't wait, David Bradley. And
the original, you might say. Yeah.
That's one of the consequences of taking the slow path. So until whenever we come back. All right. Oh, all right. What is it, Graham? Your head's still up. All right. So
is it?
I forgot to drop it.
Boxing Day. See you Boxing Day, kids.
All right.
Yeah, and since I have the master's beard, I'm willing to fill in between Sims and Missy.
Well, I think there was a lot of people willing to fill in between Sim and Missy. Okay.
I'm willing to fill in Missy. That's a different story.
Good night.